One of the great and unique things about the White Lotus is the fact that they leave some things unanswered. They leave some things up to interpretation of the viewer. In some shows, this would not work so well and would leave fans unsatisfied. But for the White Lotus, it works great. So here are some of the big ones from Season 2. The first two are directly linked together. The first part of it being, was there more to Cameron and Harper than she admitted? And I think it's fairly obvious that the answer was yes. The biggest piece of evidence was the 10 minutes of unaccounted time. The second question, which is directly related to that one, is did Ethan and Daphne get their revenge? Which also seems to be an easy yes. Daphne cheating on Cameron is not something that would have been new to her. She has always done it, and she has admitted that she's done it to cope with Cameron doing it to her. She was trying to show Ethan her method, something that she's used to doing, and I think he went along with it. That's why he got back with Harper upon returning to their room. If he didn't run into Daphne, or if he didn't do it with her, he'd still be fighting with Harper. The next question is, what was the plan for Porsha? What was Jack supposed to do to her in the original plan? Some people were saying that he was supposed to kill her and that he spared her life, but I think it's clear that was not the case whatsoever. The whole point of having Jack take Porsha out was to keep her safe and away from Tanya. Porsha was never supposed to be there originally, which is why Greg was so mad when she showed up. They had to change the plan to account for her. If they wanted to just kill her as well, they would just keep her around. They could have killed Tanya and Porsha on the yacht together. But they wanted to spare her, which is why Jack kept her away from the action. And if Quentin and his group wasn't so stupid, it would have been a pretty simple plan. Jack takes her out and has fun with her, just like they were doing on day one of meeting. He would take her around the city like he wanted to, with no suspicion on him whatsoever. And then, of course, Tanya would have gotten killed, and it would have looked like a drowning accident, and then they would just go back to the White Lotus. Jack would act surprised, and of course, Porsha would be as well, and there really wouldn't be much suspicion. Things only changed because Jack and Quentin got caught by Tanya, and then, of course, they left the picture out. That led to suspicion, that led to them figuring out the plan, and that led to Porsha calling Jack out. At that point, he knew he was caught, and he knew he couldn't take her back. As far as Jack was concerned, Quentin and his group was still alive. And if he took Porsha back and she tried to question them now that she knew the truth and was suspicious, they would probably have to take her out. That's why he made the change and took her to the airport. But originally, if there was no suspicion and they didn't get caught, then he wasn't supposed to kill her. He was supposed to just take her away. The next question, which relates to Tanya's death, is did Greg get the money? And he probably did. There's really no evidence at the location of her death that would prove Greg had anything to do with it, and Porsha probably won't be saying anything. So, if Greg is in Season 3, he will likely have the money. And speaking of Season 3, there's of course the question of who, if anyone from Season 2, will come back. For that, I have a fully separate video, which you can go check out if you want to. That's it for this video though, giving my interpretation of some of the top unanswered questions. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll have more White Lotus videos coming out soon.